Whoa!
Hey,
whoa,
buddy.
whoa, whoa.
What do you think? Maximum occupancy has been reached.
Take the stairs.
Yes. Stop.
Take the stairs. Hate the stairs. So many stairs!
Hey howdy, hi, incredible people of the internet. Wolfman47 here. I'm auditioning to be the Incredible Sock. Right, enough of that. So, I was planning to dress as the Hulk in this video, but I don't have any green spray paint, and I know some people might accuse me of whatever the sort of racial term is, political correctness and wokeness. Don't agree with it, so yeah. Anyway, so Incredible Hulk, one of the big Marvel characters, although originally wasn't as popular as he was before, but he is definitely popular these days. And I'm about to prove one of my friends wrong when he says Hulk was not part of Marvel to begin with. Actually, he was, because the old TV show that came out some years when Marvel Comics was one of the production companies involved. So yeah, but no, we're not going to go into detail about Hulk. We're talking about the Hulk from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this character, out of all of the founding Avengers, I should say, is interesting in that he's the only one of the main 4 Avengers that has never had more than one solo film. He's also the only one that's actually appeared in not just films but also Disney Plus original TV shows as well, as far as I know or can remember. Anyway, so I guess we'll start at the beginning. So, as his origins in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is exactly the same as it's been before. He's a scientist. Bruce Banner is a scientist, was exposed to gamma radiation during the experiment, and when he becomes angry, or in this cinematic universe's case, excited, he becomes the angry green giant that is the Incredible Hulk. Now, even though the Incredible Hulk film is sort of set at where the Hulk film that came before it ended, and I do prefer to disregard that one because it wasn't a good Hulk film in my opinion. You could say it was connected, but anyway. So you see him in the film. He gets introduced to the cinematic universe. He fights Abomination or whatever his name is, and other stuff happens. I'll be honest, there's a lot of things in the Incredible Hulk that has not been addressed since that film. For example, I forget the character's name, but the guy that helps Bruce Banner sort of work out how to keep in control of the Hulk. We've not seen him again for a while now, and I don't know if we ever will, because it's just sometimes when you have so much stuff happening for one franchise that you do kind of forget some of the things that have happened in the past. And yeah, so that's the first Incredible Hulk film, and I know that the only real connections it has to the wider MCU is that had Robert Downey Jr. at the end doing his post-credits scene, and then you got the original actor, who I know has sadly passed away, who played Thunderbolt Ross, and he has appeared since that film in other MCU films. And then after that, that's pretty much it for the Universal Hulk films. I guess Universal still hold the rights to first refusal of solo Hulk films, by which I mean they would happily make more solo Hulk films, but only if they and Marvel Studios agreed to certain terms and conditions. So it's basically a sort of deal that it's basically how the Sony and Marvel deal is working out right now. So Marvel can create Spider-Man films set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as long as Sony get some kind of producing and distributing credit. So it'll probably be the same for Universal if they decide to go that way. Anyway, so the solo films aside, Hulk is allowed to appear in other people's films, and the first one he did appear in after The Incredible Hulk was Avengers Assemble, as it's known here in the UK. Rest of the world, you call it The Avengers or whatever you want to call it. But here in the UK, we call it Avengers Assemble. So this is when Mark Ruffalo portrays the Hulk, and was the first actor to mocap him as well. So previously in the TV show, Hulk was played by, I think, 2 different actors, one for Bruce Banner and the other for Hulk, because CGI and practical effects were the main thing back in the day, and we don't have CGI like we do today. And Mark Ruffalo's the first time in the films that he is actually physically portraying the Hulk, albeit in a mocap sort of way, to sort of give it a bit more authenticity, I guess. So he's recruited into the Avengers and was the first to sort of be corrupted by one of the Infinity Stones, the one in Loki's scepter, which ultimately led him to be the one to be among the characters responsible for the close to destruction of the helicarrier in the first film. But then he arrives in New York and decides that he and Hulk will always forever be angry, and that somehow Hulk will now be a hero. And the two go on various fights and adventures with the Avengers after that event in New York. So after New York, he then goes with Tony Stark. Tony Stark tells him about some stuff that's happened. Then the next time we see him is in Avengers Age of Ultron, in which Hulk is once again manipulated into thinking he's all bad, cruel and all that, but nevertheless manages to overcome it and is able to fight Ultron. Plus, we also learn in that film that Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, may or may not have a thing, and that Black Widow somehow knows how to calm him down and turn him back into Bruce Banner. But then towards the end of the film, Hulk kind of leaves planet Earth and finds himself in a sort of Guardians of the Galaxy like planet, which I forget the name of. But we then get the part of the MCU where we have this sort of story arc for Hulk. So according to Kevin Feige, his role in Thor Ragnarok and the next 2 Avengers films collectively run a story arc that collectively could be considered his second solo film if you connect the dots and join them all together. So in Thor Ragnarok, he is the greatest champion as he fights Thor.
Banner! Hey, Banner!
No Banner, only Hulk!
What are you doing? It's me! Thor! We're friends. This is crazy. I don't want to hurt you.
And somehow Thor manages to turn him back into Bruce Banner and then into the Hulk again throughout that film. And then in much of Infinity War, Bruce Banner, having been Hulk for so long, Bruce Banner then becomes just Bruce Banner for a while longer. And then when the whole situation with the snap happens, the Hulk does kind of spend a lot of time with Bruce Banner figuring out how to, if there is a cure, or to sort of find a way to sort of separate the two. And he spends a lot of time experimenting on that. But then it's kind of established later on that he's found a way for them to basically become one and the same. So effectively, we now have a character that most people would describe as Professor Hulk. So in this case, it's basically Hulk's body, but Bruce Banner's in control, mind, outfits and everything. And I guess you could say this is probably for the best for the Hulk, because all that rage and all that problems he had is kind of managed by Bruce Banner, but then he does sort of still get a bit rageful in places. But then that's basically how it is with him. So in Endgame, he time travels. He figures things out with the Doctor Strange stuff, and he kind of learns that the person who held the time stone before Doctor Strange, I forget her name, he learns that she never knew about Strange willingly giving Thanos the Infinity Stone, because it was never in it prophesized or whatever. So that all happens, and then Hulk participates in the battle against Thanos's forces one last time, and then after that he's supervising the sort of time portal, which sends Captain America back to put all the Infinity Stones and Thor's hammer back in their places, and then spend the time that he lost reunited with Peggy Carter. And that's really it for his main roles in the films. We do see him again in a post-credit scene for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which I guess you say is him kind of formally introducing Shang-Chi into the Avengers, or the main contacts for the Avengers and other heroes. And then we see him again, and then because the She-Hulk series is She-Hulk, we do see him again in that, albeit in a supporting role, where he's trying to figure out, he's trying to help She-Hulk be She-Hulk. Honestly, I'd much rather forget that show ever existed, but hey, here's what it was. And that's kind of it for his story. I think overall as a character, I think Edward Norton plays him well, and I think Mark Ruffalo plays him well. I think out of the two, I kind of prefer that Edward Norton played him in just one film instead of several films, because he is one of those actors that is a method actor. So he likes to portray his characters in a certain way, and I think he does a really good job portraying Bruce Banner and the Hulk in that film, even though he's not actually playing the Hulk in that film. But I think Mark Ruffalo kind of brings the more likability to the character. So he portrays the Hulk as still Bruce Banner, and the Hulk as still sort of conflicted, trying to be like one another, but he's a bit more confident, a bit more likable, and he does throw a few one-liners when he can, even though he can be a little bit awkward in places, but not as awkward as Spider-Man. So there's that. I don't know if we'll ever see Hulk again. I'm thinking he probably will appear later down the line in the Multiverse Saga, if the Multiverse Saga still continues to be the way it is. At the time of this video, I've yet to see Deadpool and Wolverine. So if that does retcon or change anything, I hope, if anything, they do try and give... I just hope that we get more Hulk solo films, because I know a lot of us would love to see a Planet Hulk storyline be explored, and World War Hulk be explored, and lots of other different stories as well. I know some of those stories have been explored in the What If series. So I know Happy Hogan was a Hulk-like character in one episode, and yeah, that's all there is to it. Is he the most popular Marvel character in the MCU? Yeah, I'd say he is. The fact that he's got a lot of merchandise and associates with the Avengers makes him a good popular character. He's I'd say he's quite a sympathetic character, because Bruce Banner and the Hulk are trying to control one another, and both think that what each person is puny and all that, and yeah. And his story, especially when you get to the story arc in Thor Ragnarok and the Avengers films, is kind of not depressing, but you do kind of feel for them both, because they're trying to figure out a way to coexist and not be forced to switch between them. And yeah, and I think by the time that the two become one and the same, it's that point where they've kind of made peace with one another and have accepted that that one can't live without the other. I know some other Hulk characters like Red Hulk and others have not yet been explored in the MCU, and I don't know if they will. I hope they do, but we'll just have to wait and see. And that's all I can really think about with Hulk. He's an incredible hero, created by the legendary Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. He always has been Marvel Comics. Do your research if you don't believe me. Especially that particular friend of mine who thinks he wasn't Marvel to begin with. No, do your research, and you can be proven wrong. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the likes, the shares, the comments, and the subscribe buttons wherever they are. See you in the next one. Peace to you all. And if you do get angry or you do get excited, and you might change it to somebody else if that happens, maybe just take a few deep breaths and just cool down and chill for a bit, because next minute you might turn into a big green monster, smashing everything, destroying everything, and thinking everybody's puny, even things like the god of mischief Loki is a puny god and all that stuff. So yeah.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
So yeah, deep breaths are the way to go. Alright, toodles.
Hulk! Smash!